Hey guys, Slapzack here and welcome back to World of Tanks, and in this video guys I'll be showing you the long-awaited T29 gameplay video along with a couple of others that I just mashed together from the archives. That is because I'm currently traveling right now on my brother's golf tournaments, and I will not be at my normal setup, so I had to use the built-in microphone that my headphones have currently, so it might not sound the best, but it will do. So let's talk about the T29. So what do you really need to know about the T29? Well, I really had no trouble filming this video. It's because the T29 is definitely up there in my top 10 favorite tanks. It's such easy and enjoyable tank to play. The turret armor can just really hold up against tier 9 vehicles. I mean, you're not useless in a tier 9 or 8 match, as you will definitely see in this video. So I'm going down in a very, very overpowered spot here for the T29. That's because when the T29 is held down, really nothing can stop it unless you push up, and that's what you really need to do if you encounter a T29 as like a tier 6 or tier 7. Do not let it go held down. Either get out of there or let your teammates push him. That's the only way you get rid of him, because I just trust me, you will never be able to penetrate the T29's turret. That's because I think it's 256 millimeters. It's been a long time since I've seen the armor profile of this tank, but it is very thick, the turret armor, and the hull armor isn't too bad for its tier anyway. It holds up against tier 6 mediums and some tier 6 heavy tanks, but other than that, it's complete garbage at tier 7, tier 8, tier 9. So really you need to rely on your turret armor and your decent gun, I should say. It's got decent penetration, not terrible, but it's not like good either. Anyways, we are on a rampage here, so we just put one shot into low and absolutely murdered that Cromwell there, who was a bit foolish trying to penetrate my turret there. Anyways, we try to find another shot on the low here. Pop out again, bounce another from our side, bounce another from the low, and we set the low on fire. So we bounced two shots there, one from the side of my turret and one from the low. I don't know who that was, that tank up there. So we load another APCR round just to confirm the kill there and go through it like butter. As you can see, the decent penetration and terrible armor of the low both go together very nicely. So this game has been a huge success. So now me and Sarah decide that we need to push up here. Sarah's in her IS, as you can see. This little anxious Cromwell there. So I've got the Sim 6 and oh no, Sarah takes it. So Sarah takes that kill, unfortunately. I was pretty mad at her. So yeah, she's definitely a professional kill stealer, and I'm gonna label her as that. Now, as you can see, we're kind of being surrounded here, so I really need to take action here. I even said while I was in the game, I said I really need to take action here. I'm wasting time, because this game could go wrong at any moment, and we definitely learned that while we were playing a couple of games. So this Pershing made a bit of a mistake there, so I put one shot to his side when he comes out, but I'm fairly certain I can entrust Sarah to take care of that flank. But right now, I have my own troubles. That T44 is a little pesky guy, so going to need to take care of him. Now, the T44 is really no match for the T29 if you know what you're doing in the T29, that is. If you are a stock T29 that just bought it, you're first tier 7, then probably won't stand up against him. But if you driven a couple hundred battles like me in this tank, then you will know exactly what you're doing in this tank and the capabilities. So we absolutely murdered this game and destroyed it. So you can really see the strong points. Fast rate of fire, very good hull armor, or not good hull armor, I mean turret armor, excuse me, and decent hull armor. So all that combined really just makes my kind of tank. It's decent mobility, okay gun, and okay armor. Just everything all around is what really kind of my style of play. But anyways, now we are into another game with Sarah in her E100. Alright, so now we're watching Sarah in her E100 playing on Lost Temple. This is the tier 10 German heavy tank, and I'm in my i7 tier 10 German Soviet tank, heavy tank. Really what's so special about the E100 is that this tank has the biggest gun of any heavy tank in the game. And that's what makes it so special, and that's what kind of sets it apart from the Mouse, its brother, and all other heavy tanks, because this tank has massive alpha damage, but it is missing one thing. It sacrifices huge alpha damage for penetration, so you really have to load quite a few heat shells in order to survive in a tier 10 game, that is. So I shouldn't say that this tank is kind of a howitzer, but it really isn't a pinpoint accuracy kind of tank. This tank fires huge shells, so it isn't the most accurate, but that German accuracy trait does come in handy when you need it. And the penetration, as I said, is terrible, so you'll need to have a couple of heat shells loaded, as you'll see Sarah firing a couple of heat shells in this game. Now, she's not a heat spammer, she goes very much against that. That's because this tank is a heat target. The frontal slope, or I should say the frontal plate on the cheeks of the E100's turret is probably the most heat shell attracting thing. It just literally glows, shoot heat at me, and that's what you really feel if you're in an E5 or an E3 or any other tank really, when you have an E100 right in front of you, hull down. So you really need to angle your turrets in the E100. I'd say that's the most important thing of all. Now, Sarah does not know, really, she doesn't angle her turret that much, but I really, if you're watching this, Sarah, which I know you will, I really advise you to angle your turret. You might not think it might come in handy, but you will definitely need it. It does bounce heat shells, and that's coming from an E3 driver with massive penetration. So yeah, that's my advice to all you E100 players. Angle your turret because it does help. Now, one thing that I've noticed about the E100 is that a lot of E100 players don't really play cautiously in this tank. They feel like since they have such massive health and such a big gun that they get very confident in this tank, and you really don't need to be that confident in this tank. In fact, you need to be very cautious because this tank takes a very long time to reload, very slow. Its armor is terrible against tier 10 opponents. It's not terrible as in, you know, like leopard armor thin, but it just really doesn't hold up against tier 10 vehicles with their massive penetration. Now Sarah puts another shell into that, what is that, IS-3 I think? Or IS-8, I can't really tell from here. I think that's an IS-8. But yes, I think you need to play cautiously in this tank. Just because you have the biggest gun of any heavy tank and nice German armor doesn't mean you can really, go up and go all in the middle of the field and start, you know, busting out guns. You really need to play cautiously in this tank and snipe from the back lines, as you will see Sarah doing right here. I'm taking all the hits, attracting all the attention, using my angled Soviet armor to good use, and that's really what needs to happen. The E100 is not a frontline fighter, at least in tier 10 vehicles, or tier 10 opponents with very experienced tanks. So you really need to be cautious in this tank. At least that's my opinion. Anyways, we can see Sarah just absolutely wrecking in this tank. That's because she's not taking any hits. She's playing cautiously, exactly like I told all the E100, at least exactly how I advised. And actually, I'm very surprised that she did this. She is a very reckless player. But as you can see, this is what happens. She's very reckless. She gets almost killed in the first minute of the game. She does do massive results, and wow, RNG, man. So anyways, yeah, she's a very reckless player, but as you can see, she's keeping on the kind of back lines on the second line, and she's putting good shots in, and that's what the E100 should be used for. It's excellent at long range. No tank can compare the E100 at long range. And with its gun at long range isn't the best, but it definitely is good for support. So anyways, that's my advice to all you E100 drivers. I think the E100, I need to make a separate video, kind of a rant about the E100, but yeah, that's about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this E100 video. So Sarah absolutely murdered in that game. She did over 3,000 damage, and yes, as you can see, I did a bit better, 1,000 more damage, I think. But yes, GG to Sarah. Alright, so now we are in my IS-4 on the mines map, and it seems as if my entire team, everybody but me, is going east. So that is one of the most unfortunate things that can possibly happen to someone on this map. It's a huge pain to hold that hill all by yourself, but fortunately we have a T34 friend that looks like he's made up his mind to go to the east, but now he's thinking he has to help me up over the north. We have a runaway T20, I think that is, over on the western parts of the map, and as you can see, we already have a T54 up on the hill, so I'm very cautious right here. I do not want to get overrun. That's the one thing I don't want to happen. I want to wait and stall for my buddies to get right up behind them, and that's when I make my push, right when they all start to turn around. Now, me and this T34 are holding our position here. I think that T34 would have gone blindly in if it wasn't for me holding the back, but that T34 is getting a bit annoying. It looks like he put one shell into him, or that might have been the guys over on the east, or that Yak-Panzer U-100, most likely him. So, as you can see, my friends have all made it up and around, but it looks like there's no one there. So we're gonna have to take a closer look. So I'm gonna move up this hill to flank that 54. So, oh no, okay, nope, not flanking up there. So yeah, it looks like every single member of their team except for a couple, made it up that hill, and now they're kind of holding their own fortress there. Unfortunately for them, that doesn't hold for very long. So this I-7 completely decides to ignore me, so I put a shell right into his sloped front plate. It's angling towards me, so that gave me an advantage to take control. Now there's really nothing I can do to help out that guy. I can't even tell what he is. So he's being circled by that 54, I think. Conquer, yes, the Conqueror is being circled by that 54. There was nothing I could really do at that point. I don't want to go up and kill myself just to save, or probably not even save, he's probably going to die in the first place, but just to get that 54 off of him from circling. So we put another little sneaky shot into that IS-7's lower plate. He fires, clutch fires, and bounces right off our plate, right off our front plate, that is. And looks like he's hesitating a bit, so we move back. He shot again. Not sure what this IS-7 is doing. He must not be a too experienced player, but this IS-3 has had enough of me beating up his higher tiers that are protecting him. So he, for some reason, decides to ram me. I take no damage, and just beat this guy up. Now that's what the IS-4 I think is actually good at, is lower tiers. Its angled armor is superior against lower tiers, because pretty much that's the same with the IS-6, the IS-4's cousin. The IS-6 is basically an IS-4 at tier 8, only it does absolutely fantastic against lower tiers. But higher tiers, it just does not hold up, and that's the exact same problem with the IS-4. It's higher tiers just does not hold up, but against lower tiers, it's actually a fairly good tank. So I see that Jagdpanzer being caughted. Can't do anything there, so I'm gonna need to back off. Unfortunately, he put on his little consumable there, and for some reason he has that consumable in his Jagdpanzer E100. But okay, I'm not judging. We spot a sneaky little, what is that, 54 over there, or T44? Sorry, 44. Trying to take that Jagdpanzer out. Unfortunately for our Jagdpanzer, he only manages to track him with the biggest gun in the game, so I'm trying to just find that object. I have a hunch of where he might be, but I'm very cautious as I don't want to be shot inside by this 44. But I'm fairly certain that this 44 is already occupied on this Jagdpanzer 100. So I'm still looking for that shot there. For some reason, I should have laid off a long time ago. I don't think he's ever going to pop out. I was waiting for him to just make his entire spring exactly like that. But yeah, it's already too late. So someone else takes him out. As you can see, there's the object. And thanks to my excellent turret armor, it's not actually that good, the turret armor on this tank. It's good, it's just, it likes the same weakness on the IS-3. It has a little weak point up at the very top of the turret. It's not Commander's Hatch, it's just a tiny, like, little angled up, upper angle parts on the turret that you can actually hit, and that's a weak spot. Now we've put 2 shots into that object, and now we have it side there. So that's nice, and it's pretty much game over. So we keep farming damage on this object, and that concludes the game. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. And remember, the new 1.11 update is coming out with a bunch of brand new tier 6 tanks, just a bunch of additions to all these new tanks. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy. 1.11 is coming out. I won't be doing a video on it. That's because it's just come so quick. I didn't have time to prepare for it. But don't worry, 1.12 I will have an update video on. But anyways, guys, that's about it. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and I'll release my latest video probably in the next week or maybe sometime this week. But as I said, thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.